What is up? What is up? It is me. It is I. I am the greatest there is, the greatest there was, the greatest there ever will be. I am greatness personified myself. Yes, yes, Stoney Greatness here. And I am with the man, the myth, the legend, the activist, the author, the educator, the entertainer. He is your king because they come from all around to see this man who wears the crown that hangs 2 inches from the ground. Oh, yes, Kyng Kevyn.
Every time. That gets me every time. Hold on. I'd like to thank God and my mommy and Stoney Greatness. Let me stop. So I just realized, I realized why this is like so. Oh Jesus, what did I just do? Just did something.
There we go.
Why this is so magnanimous?
Mm-hmm.
These introductions, because he's a wrestling freak.
I am.
That's what these introductions are. These are like wrestling introductions.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
Okay. I mean, I understand more clearly.
Why not?
What's up, y'all? It's been a minute since the two of us have sat down. All on me. It's my fault. I'll take the blame. Once again, I apologize.
Hey, we're here.
Yeah, it's on me. But we are here.
He's queer.
And I'm with queer. No, and it's good to be back. As you guys know, we've been watching shows.
Yeah. Hopefully you've been watching shows.
Yeah. And actually with that, you guys can like join the conversations in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I've noticed is like they don't always pop up on here if you type in on Facebook. So if you go to YouTube and you watch us there, you'll be able to interact with us in the comments.
Yep.
Section.
And then like and subscribe while you're at it.
Yes. So where do you want to start?
Oh boy, there's a lot. So
we want to start with the gossip and not the gossip, but like the little scandalous things that's happened since we've been on last, or do we want to get into our reviews?
Oh, okay. So let's start with the gossip first, because
right.
The reviews, you know what I mean. But let's start with the gossip.
Can we do the Nick first?
Oh,
Nick first.
Nick. Okay.
Yeah, I told you I got a little something.
All right. Yeah. All right. So, guys, if you haven't heard, Nick Cannon has kind of interjected himself, and I know that we thought that the whole Wendy Williams thing was dead, but you know, now that the show has been canceled and a lot of things are coming out and people are talking and everything, and with Sherry starting up and people saying, oh, they're not, you know, with Wendy saying that she's not going to watch Sherry, which is wrong, you know, support,
right.
It's a support. You know,
another black one.
So you know, now we
held
have
you down,
and now we have Nick Cannon coming out and saying he doesn't plan on, you know, being a guest or even watching, you know, the Sherry Shepherd show. Now, for those of you that don't know, Nick Cannon's show was also canceled. Yes, it was canceled after one season.
You know, here's my thing, real quick, because I love Nick, I respect him. I look up to him as a businessman. He does a lot of great things. He has his hand everywhere. He does a lot of great things. But this daytime talk show stuff, this is not for Nick. It just didn't work out. Like as a guest host, maybe holding it down for an entire season, it didn't work out the way he intended. And I think that should be his graceful bow out instead of interjecting in someone else's business, where this person is already a successful talk show host. Like, let's not forget that. And then she's going to do even better. Well, and then she held Wendy down, and now she's going to do great on her own. So,
yeah,
stay out of it.
And let's be real. Sherry Shepherd commands a far bigger audience than both you and Wendy. Okay, so it is more or less, you know, yes, it is more or less for you a win-win if you just, you know, supported her.
Honestly,
you know, and let's be real. The Nick Cannon show was terrible. Like.
Can we dissect that? Can we unpack that real quick?
If this had happened back when he was popular, like, and it was on Nickelodeon, you know,
Yeah.
back when he was
Yeah.
on all that, and they had him do that and all that, like that would have been good, but no, it didn't work.
So you know how, because
That opening theme song sounded like Sesame Street.
Well, that's exactly where I'm going. Like, I think it's cool that you can play the piano. I think it's cool that you can write a jingle. I just don't think that daytime TV, we don't watch it for a concert unless it's a special guest that's not you. Like, Nick is like, I'm forcing his music down your throat one way or another. No, Nick, no. I did not consent.
And just a little thing with me, I don't know. I'm weird. The slightest things just weird me out. But he had this the little white guy hype man in the back. He was annoying, like just annoying. Like it was just no. He was always at like a stack all the time. Like there was no fluctuation. Like the thing that made Suzanne, right, on Wendy's show, like likable is because you could tell like that lady had that lady had levels.
I hardly tell, but you can tell because she was always like, "Yes, Wendy, let's do it. All right, Wendy."
But she was a ball of fun. Like she would get like you, and Wendy would ask her questions about her, you know what I mean? And she would be, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, That's I like you because you real. Yeah. Like, you know, but that guy, he was always, "Hey Nick, hey Nick, hey, hey Nick, hey." Really? Everybody say, "Hey Nick." I see ya. I see ya. I see you sing along. I see ya.
You're doing it. So I guess it was catchy.
But you saw how cringy and terrible that was, right? That's what he was doing week in and week out. Him right there, I blame for the whole cancellation of the season because they could have changed the format a bit, you know, and said, "Hey Nick, we can work with you, work with the format and everything." But you know, the guy got to go. I don't know what his name was. I'm just gonna call him Scott. But Scott got to go. You know, but no, Nick was like, "No, Scott's my man. He got to eat." No. And you lost your show.
I'm more than sure that's not why Nick lost the show.
It would have been if I was the exec.
The truth is, Nick Cannon is like extremely busy making money that he don't really have the time to dedicate to this show. So he's gonna let them look good. He's gonna let them save face and say that, you know, they canceled him. He's gonna be a bigger man and go make his money elsewhere.
He might be getting alimony from Mariah. So, hey.
And he might actually be like still trying to, you know, the whole people be saying stuff about him, like Orlando Brown. You remember he said Nick gave him head or something? You didn't know that?
No.
Allegedly.
Oh!
Yes.
Oh!
So yeah, that was the alleged thing that Orlando said about Nick Cannon.
And speaking of Orlando Brown, that is such a great segue into our next bit of gossip. Because apparently Orlando Brown just didn't say that Nick Cannon has, you know, good throat. You know. But apparently
Bow Wow got some wop.
Got some wop.
So Orlando Brown was being interviewed by Funny Marco on social media. I think they posted up on YouTube as well.
Mm-hmm. We would do a fancy cutaway here, but apparently we get a lot of attention and we get copyright struck even when we say we don't own, you know, stuff. So thank you for paying attention to us. Give us our own show where we're paid to do this.
Yes.
And we will, and you don't have to worry about striking us and spending money striking us because you spent money striking us.
But one way or another, there was a interview, and in the midst of the interview, Orlando Brown says that Bow Wow has some good P-Valley. And it caught people by surprise. Even Funny Marco was like, "Wait, did you really just say what I think you said?"
He doubled down.
He went on social media and said, "Bow Wow, you just need to let them know you got some good P-Valley." And like it's like empowering P-Valley. So I'm wondering, because in the back of my head, I always thought And I want to know, because like if it pop up on OnlyFans, I'm just saying, I need to find out if that's the thing. Because I believe him. Orlando, I got your back, bro.
Hey,
I believe you.
Hey, I believe him too, because when Bow Wow get up and drag and Lil Mama come out, I mean, shucks. And I mean that them lip glosses be popping, so you know that mouth be on point. I mean, Lil Mama, you know, that's Lil Bow Wow's, you know, power bottom persona. So
allegedly he got some WAP and some good P-Volley. And I'm just saying, Bow Wow, if you so happen to be in Philly,
yeah,
or I happen to be in the city you were in,
yeah, or Lil Mama.
I'm sorry, Lil Mama.
Lil Mama.
Lil Mama, hit me up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was just my my moment.
Booking Stoney at KevinM.com.
And he's you know, Bow Wow shorter than me too, so that would be so much
that
fun.
Would be awesome.
How much fun that would be.
Mm-hmm. You get the straps and hang them up. Or Lil Mama. We don't know, do we, folks? We don't know. You gotta do. We don't know.
So we're watching RuPaul's Drag Race All Star All Winners, and we are almost at the end of the race.
Yeah.
And RuPaul decided to throw in a twist, because we know last episode was last time anyone would be blocked. No one has.
What a twist!
So that was the first twist. No one can be blocked from receiving a star.
Mm-hmm.
But this episode, RuPaul says,
and that was to save Jinx. Let's be real. The no blocking thing was to save Jinx from getting blocked.
Yeah, because if Jinx would have got blocked.
Because Jinx was going to get blocked. If they had to block, everybody was going to block Jinx.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Interesting. But then they do the other twist at the beginning of this latest episode, where
the last challenge.
In this last challenge, which is a talent show, the top 2 All-Stars are going to receive 3 All-Stars, All Winners, legendary legend stars.
Not 1, not 2, but 3 legendary legend stars. Yes.
So now, if you guys have been keeping up, before this episode, Jinx had 3. But that's right, she had 4.
Yeah, she had 4.
Jinx had 4.
Right.
Jada had 3. Trinity had 3.
Yeah.
Raja had 2. Vivian had 2. Evie had 2. And Monet had 2. And Shea Coulee only had 1. Shea Coulee knew that there was absolutely no way for her to win until this twist comes along, and now she has a chance to make it to the lip sync
Lollapalooza.
You're so good. So this twist put everybody back into the game, like legitimately. They all gave really great performances. Now, I watched and I cringed. But I couldn't say anything because it would be culturally inappropriate. And you know what I'm saying, right?
You talk about Rasha's?
Yes. I understand what she was. It didn't speak to me.
Well, okay.
It didn't speak to me.
I liked it. I thought it was.
Everyone liked it.
I thought it was nice. I thought it was very, very nice. I mean,
she spooked me out. Like,
and you have
body,
to. Have you ever seen Balinese? Have you ever seen Balinese dance before, though?
No, I haven't.
Okay, if you see, but yeah, because mostly women do it.
That's a representation of it. I'm scared.
Well, no, because mostly women do it, you know. But there are certain dances that men can do, because over there in Indonesia there is a place for the ladyboy and stuff like that and everything. But they couldn't learn the dance. But there were certain dances that they could learn, in order to, you know what I mean. And that was a very much androgynous, style of Balinese dance that he did, and it came across exactly to me because I've seen it before. Right.
Okay, so you understand.
Yeah. because it is very feminine, very wavy, but precise, and
I don't
you
think
know what
that
I mean,
and that's
everything.
the thing. I don't think that Raja, again, I have never seen it before,
Mm-hmm.
but like the body language to me was very stiff and the eyes were creepy. It was uncomfortable for me to watch, all while wanting to be respectful to the culture.
I get it, and it does it like things strike people differently. It is
Right.
what it is. You have
Right.
people who like Irish folk music and cringe at the sound of rap, like
Right.
So it doesn't matter. Things aren't for everybody.
Right. But I also
and
feel
things,
like
yeah.
if I saw it like as you witnessed
Mhm.
it before, then I probably would be more open to it.
Right.
And I would understand it better. I just didn't understand it. So that's just me. But after this entire competition,
It was a variety show, by the way. Variety show.
Okay.
So they had the final competition was they all had to do a variety show, do a talent that expressed them and encapsulated them and everything. And so a lot of people did, Trinity's was cute.
And back to Raja real quick.
Mm-hmm.
What I loved about her performance is it really did speak to her culture and it spoke to her father, homage to her father, and that to me was beautiful. So, even though I didn't understand the actual performance, the point behind it, I did get that, and and when she said it, it was like, that is beautiful. Yeah. Trinity, sorry.
Yeah, no, Trinity's was cute. Little country girl, little country drag queen anthem. It was cute. Had tea poured all over at the end and everything. Let's see. Evie's was awesome. I thought Evie's was awesome. Like it was she had a whole stretcheroo thing happening where
that was dope.
You thought it was her pushing in this green box and then she ended up popping out of the green box. But
it was like this weird illusion moment.
Yeah,
that was it. I think it was Monet who said like this is just like the best drag show ever. It don't even seem like it's a competition.
Yeah, no.
It's just like you're invited to the best drag show
ever.
Yes,
ever. And that really was honestly like if that was put on like at a bar, I'm pretty sure like they would have to put up screens on the outside because that bar would be packed and people would be outside of the bar. You know what I mean? Like that would be an epic show. Viv was solid. I thought Viv's performance was very, very beautiful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You had Jinx.
They were all solid.
Jinx was amazing.
Live singing. It was so Jinx. It was beautiful. It was entertaining. It was still
Michelle
Jinx.
called it an 11 o'clock number.
Yes.
She was like, and honestly, like that, the type of song that it was, you would expect to go on at this, smoke-filled casino at 11 o'clock or this, piano bar at around 11 o'clock. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like that was her element, and she shined so brightly.
Deep-throated the mic. Was not off key at all.
But wait, when
the whole
Evie
time
did it though, it's like wait.
Oh yeah, Evie oddly in the confessional took a water bottle. Show him your water bottle. It was like a water bottle, and it was like and like all in there, like and whoa, Evie. No, you already know. Evie,
do,
it is on record.
But I'll tell you one thing: if I ever came across Evie, I just want to tell you about it.
You know what, Evie? why have one that takes up as much room as two when you could have just two solid ones in the Chamber of Greatness?
Because I do both.
But you have two bodies. And two is better than one. In the Chamber of Greatness. Come and see us. Standing invitation to the Chamber of Greatness.
Wait, so this is going to sound so bad. The Chamber of Greatness inside the King's Castle.
No, it's not inside the King's Castle. It is inside Castle Greatness. All right. In the north.
It is.
Yes.
I'm the king of the west, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's where King's Landing is, in the west. I'm in the north.
Anyway, let's get back on track.
What is it? Freakopolis? Freakopolis.
Let's get back on track. Mm-hmm. So anyway, Shea Coulee, like Trinity, like Jada Essence Hall.
Yeah.
Like
Jada's was cute.
Well,
Jada's was cute.
They were, but what I'm saying, a lot of them just performed their own music.
Right, but Shea's performance, period,
was a whole freaking showstopper.
The whole like
Her
Beyonce level
yes.
like number, like it was a Beyonce level number. Like Shay looked amazing.
Yeah.
Like was on point as far as lip syncing with the music. If there was live and there was mechanics going, started, like that was amazing too.
As soon as it started, I felt like I'm watching her music video, and everything that she would have given in that or on stage in front of a live audience of thousands of people, she performed that song.
Yes, and it was a testament to the fact that let's not look down upon Shay because she came into this competition with 1 star. Shay brought it every single week. Right. Like Shay competed with everybody. There was not one week where Shay was not, was not a viable consideration for top 2. There was not one week where it was like, oh no, Shay is completely out of this. Like every week she had a strong case to be in the top 2. It's just that there were other people with stronger cases.
And again, when you have so many winners, like they're all winners, so they were the top of their game in their seasons on their particular shows.
And that's with Shay.
Right. So it's like in those situations to pick the best out of the best, that's a lot of work. Or to be the best out of the best. It's so interesting to see how Jinx has shined because like she's killed everything except for like a fashion challenge. Like she's killed everything.
But compared to where she was the last time she was on Drag Race, one of those fashion challenges,
she's still
it is leaps and bounds.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like even, and this is all the girls, even at their worst, they're still so freaking excellent.
And let's be real, there are seasons that Jinx with the fashion challenges that she presented at this on this show, she could have won fashion challenges and balls season. On other seasons. Yeah. You know what I mean? Not just like her season, but on other seasons with those looks. You know what I mean? She very well could have won. Like, so it's no slouch that she didn't win those particular ones because she still performed at a winner's level. Like those are some quality looks like that she put together. And Jinx is a juggernaut. Like and she is a juggernaut. And I am very much excited to see what trick she has up her sleeve for this lip sync Lollapalooza because you got to figure when she won the crown, they didn't have the like, you know what I mean? They did the final lip sync, you know what I mean? But that wasn't like
the way they really celebrate
where they crown the way they crown it now, where they take the top 4 and then you got a lip sync battle for that crown, So I'm interested to see what she pulls out because she doesn't have the experience of pulling out the tricks like Shay does because she's competed in 1. Like Monet does because Monet's competed in 2.
Ooh, wait, don't say no more. You're giving away too much too soon.
Oh yeah.
We didn't even get finished talking about Shay's performance.
Yeah.
So Shay just murders her set.
Yes.
Monet does something. Wait. Did I skip somebody?
No, I was going to go. Yeah, no.
Monet does something that was completely unexpected, completely original for Drag Race history. And in the past, she's used her vocals and it was not too cute. But this time, she deserves all praise.
Oh my gosh.
She sang opera and blew everything. She looked amazing.
To hear such a
precise.
It pristine. Was like that voice was like it like the only thing like when you cut into a good steak, right?
Yes.
And you get that nice slice, and then you take it and then you put it in your mouth, and all the juices flow out of it, and then it just makes you. And the meat is so tender, and you get a little bit of that fat in there too, and it just makes it feel like just like heaven, and all that umami flavor is just making your body warm. That's what Monet's voice did when she was singing opera to me. Like it was the tenderest of steaks that was covered and drenched in the butter of the gods. Like Monet, like, oh my gosh, like that was amazing. Like, and I'm not overselling it. I am underselling
it. Your description of her voice just
That's what it was. When it first, I was like, oh, like it really had me like, oh, like, is this real? Like, oh, like, because it was so good. Like, it was, oh my gosh, it was pitch perfect too. Like, and it was smooth and just amazing and so deep and rich. And that's the thing, like, pretty. Like, and when like the look that Monet had was goddess like and gorgeous and was like cover of a magazine, like statue that you of a Greek goddess that you see in a museum. Yeah. Like that's what she looked like. And then for that deep, velvety, beautiful, robust voice to just cover us in that smooth velvet and chocolate just goodness. Like it was amazing. That and needless to say, she was one of the top two. Like, yes. Like go and watch that on YouTube after you watch us here. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And the other person in the top two, go figure, Shea Coulee.
Yeah.
Shea Coulee, who only had 1 star, is now guaranteed the top spot.
Yep.
At the Lollapalooza.
Now, there was some drama. Because Shea won and Monet won, right? That left a tie because Jinx was already in. Yeah. And that's the thing. Jinx was already in. Okay? Jinx was already in. All right. Now, that left a tie for the 4th and final spot. Okay. So
that was a setup.
You had Jada with 3 and Trinity with 3. And so what RuPaul did was she went to the leader of the pack, the person with the most legendary legend stars,
which happened to be Monet.
And that was Monet Exchange, because she was sitting there with 5. She had 2 going in. All right. And she got 3 for winning. That put her at 5, 1 ahead of Jinx.
So RuPaul, instead of making the decision to who would end up being the 4th girl to join the Lollapalooza, she said, Monet, you have the most stars. You're the leader of the pack. You choose between Jada Essence Hall or Trinity the Tuck. And when that happened, I already knew what was about to happen.
I did as well.
I knew she was going to keep her pack.
I think Jada kind of figured it too.
Yeah,
Like, but Trinity, I don't know. Trinity probably was thinking like, oh, Monet probably will pick Jada because she knows that she has a better chance at beating her.
I was thinking that
in the lip syncs than
I was thinking that as
than
well.
Me. And how would that have felt as far as the Untucked would have been live then? After that, but she stayed true. Monet stayed true.
So one, she's a woman of her word. So we're gonna give her that first, and then she got some competition, so she's brave because that's a shame because I kind of feel like Jada definitely got some tricks. Like she was ahead of Monet all up until now. So let's not sleep on Jada.
No, because and I think a lot of people sleep on Jada because of the fact that she is considered the COVID queen.
But she earned her crown.
Yeah, but she
earned her crown.
And that's the thing. Like you have to look at who she beat. She beat some very quality drag queens who honestly deserve to come back, and compete on an all-star season. Frickin' the original Crystal Method. All right.
Right.
Not you, Diabetic. All right. It's not Diabetic. It is Crystal Method. Okay. The original. All right. The original drag clown. All right. Original.
The original drag clown.
Yes. Then you got did she be Gigi Good? Gigi Good.
Gigi was good.
All right. And Gigi Good is amazing. You have to figure Gigi Good comes from the same house as a champion, Simone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But to break it all down, Monet chooses Trinity the Tuck. So
yes.
The top 4 queens ends up being Monet Exchange, Jinx
Monsoon,
Shea Coulee, and Trinity the Tuck.
Trinity the Tuck. Yep.
But then there's another twist in there.
Mm-hmm.
The other 4 girls, Evie Oddly, Raja, the Vivian, and Jada Essence Hall, are all going to do their own lip sync Lollapalooza.
Smackdown
she
for
already
a crowd.
had hers, is what they're calling this one.
Yep, the queen of. Yeah. She already done had hers.
So it's gonna be a good little lip sync Lollapalooza going on. The Smackdown to the crown.
2, count them 2.
Well, at least you know in Monet's group, her and Trinity won't be tied again. There's only one in that group.
Yeah.
So then the other group will get the other queen.
Right.
That's gonna be cute. So
yeah, tune in next Friday. It's going down, and we'll be here Sunday to recap it all.
Yes. So before we talk about it next, let's just take a quick commercial break, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about CNP.
Yes. So we will be there. We want you guys to be there too. So make sure you guys go to kingsfinity.org. Right?
Yep.
Kingsfinity.org. Buy your ticket. There's a QR code there. Is that for the vendor slot or is that for tickets?
I think this one's the vendor slot.
Okay. If you folks, if you got a side hustle, you selling food, you selling underwear that you make, clothes that you make, pictures that you make. Hey, you want to be a vendor, get your products out in front of the community and get some support? Scan that QR code, get you a vendor slot at one of our events because we will give you that exposure. We are having thousands of people come from all over the country to Columbus, Melanin Pride. Make sure you are one of them. We got a host hotel out there. We got so many different events going on from September 22nd through the 25th. We got new hues popping off, paint and sip extravaganza where, you'll be able to paint, the beautiful body of your king. And we have special guests. It is Philly all over there. All right. Because we got Kendall and Just coming in. And they're also going to be there being models. Next, we got Kai's Libra Splash Party. Yeah. We're celebrating Kai Levine's birthday and all Libras at Blow 2. Now, your king was the headliner of Blow 1. All right. So now we passing the torch to Kai so that he can headline Blow 2. But your king will be in attendance, all right, to celebrate and take a little dip in the pool. So if you want to come swim alongside of the king, as well as Zaddy Corvinus, all right, did I say it right? Yep. All right, there we go. Said it right, guys. And Kai Levine. Then hey, come on down to Kai Splash Party, all right. And then we got the big one, and I'm not just talking about Kyng Kevyn. I am talking about Hotels Venom and Friends, all right, and where we will have the naked chef there cooking it up, naked probably, and then we'll have Understand Trap there looking all chocolate, and then we'll have Kai there as well, and then the centerpiece and the pièce de résistance. I said pièce, not the other thing, all right, but there will be a lot of that going on because Venom will be headlining. Be a great time. Make sure that you go buy your tickets today. Kingsfinity.org. All right. Make sure you're there. I will be there. He will be there. We want you there. Be there. Columbus is a beautiful city. It's going to be a great time. We also even got another event added. We got a speed dating event called Swipe Right there. So you might end up meeting somebody out there if you're looking for somebody. We got a seminar about being LGBTQ plus in college out there for the young folks and everything. We just added a Bottoming 101 seminar. We are trying to put together an amazing event. I'm working with the folks behind the scenes to bring you guys an amazing experience. We got Kyng Kevyn there. We got a lot of people coming in. We want you there. So please go to kingsfinity.com. All right. Or kingsfinity.org. All right. /Pride22 to get your tickets today.
All right. Now let's get into this. Peabody.
Oh.
Yeah.
Down in the valley where the girls get naked.
All right, this is your show.
1, 2, breaker. All right. So, that's my part though. That is my part. I'm like 1, 2, breaker. That's my only part. Yeah. So P Valley, guys, if you are not into P Valley, you need to be in the P Valley. All right. So
P Valley? I mean, Little Mama.
Little Mama. I mean, what do you call it?
No,
how
the way Orlando
cool
Brown
is
was
that?
talking, that was Big Mama.
How cool is that? And what if Little Mama calls her Bow Wow? Ew!
Oh God, that is horrible. Oh God,
because she like it doggy.
I can't say on here, damn it.
She like it doggy.
Wait, look.
Oh goodness, but P Valley.
Yeah.
So we're really gonna
I'm sorry, yo.
It probably barks.
I'm sorry.
We are just terrible human beings. But yeah, no, P Valley, right? Yes. So we haven't really, touched much on P Valley outside of, the controversy that it stirred up and everything. But we really want to dive into the show in part because the show has a lot, touches on a lot of topics. A lot of topics that intersect with a lot of things that we hold near and dear, and a lot of things that we honestly believe in, and and it raises a very critical spotlight on a lot of situations that I think are understandable, especially to the people of color community. You know what I mean? And also the folks in the LGBT community, and everybody. Like, this show really does touch everybody, and every walk of life.
It's interesting how it's like so gritty and so real, and it's shown through the lens of a strip club. And sexuality is there, but the dynamic topics that they talk about in this show is like, yeah, they getting buck wild with it, but that was some real shit.
Yeah, and I genuinely think that this show demonstrates how stupid how stupid we are when we debate sexuality, right? Because the sexuality is very, very fluid, and this show demonstrates that through the characters and how they're portrayed and everything. There is no straight, there is no gay, there is no lesbian. You are just because you never know in the situation, that whatever situation you're in. You know what I mean? Like, it is fluid. It is honestly fluid, and that's what this show proves, and that's one of the things that makes this show very, very great. Getting caught up, we're getting everyone caught up. We're in the second season, so it's on Stars. So if you have Stars or any other streaming service, definitely give. And you're not into P Valley, definitely go back, watch the first season, get acquainted with a lot of the characters, so that you can catch up and talk with us, and everything, and be up here with us. But we're on season 2, okay? And this was, I believe, episode 7 that came out. It was off last week. So this week, and the one thing, the main thing about season 1 was that Mercedes, who is like the queen stripper, the queen of the pole, in the Pink, which is the strip club, but she, it was focused on her getting out and her struggle to get out of the strip club, and it was kind of an ascension of another stripper who was in there. She goes by the name of Mississippi, but her real name is Keyshawn. So it was like her ascension at the end of season 1, and now she is very much the focal point of the season. We find out a backstory behind her and her abusive relationship with her baby daddy, who happens to be a white guy. And we also find out about the struggles that he's had with being in love with the black girl, because they also show the fact that his family, in his white circle, kind of shunned him for being involved with a gutter bitch. But hey, is what it is. That's what he said.
His words, not mine.
Yeah. So we see the struggle with her trying to, and she's struggling with how to get out, because that she wants to get out of this abusive relationship, but she's struggling because she's torn between, having her kid's father around, and, her safety and their safety and everything. So you see that as well. And one of the main characters, Haley, she's, now getting involved in that situation, trying to help, Keyshawn get out of there, because she comes from an abusive relationship. That was the focal point. One of the focal points of season 1 too was her, because she technically is the main character of P Valley, but her storyline kind of supports all these other ones, like Keyshawn's and Mercedes and Uncle Clifford's and Little Murders. Speaking of Mercedes, she last episode, her daughter, gave her a positive pregnancy test. And her daughter is very young. I would say, 14, I guess, is how old her daughter is in the show. I'm taking a stab at it. Correct me down in the comments if I'm wrong.
Right.
But I want to say she's 14, got pregnant. And you see that struggle between, Mercedes, Mercedes mistakes replaying, in front of her with her own daughter, and you see the connection that has, and what Mercedes is trying to avoid through flashbacks with her and her mom Patrice, who is also a preacher and running for mayor of Chucalissa right now in the show. But you see the bad relationship that was there. There was one scene in particular that we're going to highlight, have a little meaty discussion on real fast, is where there was a scene, it was a flashback. Patrice and young Mercedes are at a diner. They just finished their meal. They're trying to figure out how to pay for it, or where they're staying. The initial conversations about where they're staying. Patrice was like, she has a friend who's going to let him sleep on their pullout, which is a little bit, and it brings up, shines a light on the fact that there are a lot of people out there who struggle and who are genuinely homeless, who are couch hopping and everything else like that. And and folks who are out there doing it with complete strangers because they have no other alternative. So you see that, and Patrice says that she's short. She doesn't have the money to pay for the meal. But she notices a guy, behind them in the diner, steady staring her and Mercedes down, and she's like, "Well, Mercedes, I'm a little short, but you go and do what you do, and cover the meal." Basically pimping her daughter out.
Right.
All right, that's basically what the scene was. And then you have Mercedes, and then young Mercedes. All right, this is a flashback. She takes out her wallet and is like, "No, I have it." And she opens her wallet, but a condom, condoms fall out. And Patrice is like, "What is that?" And she's like, "What do you mean, money?" And not thinking about the condom and everything. And then Patrice pulls the condom out and is like, "What's this?" And she's like, "It's for me and my boyfriend." And, and she talked about how she loves her little boyfriend and everything. And then Patrice proceeds to beat the living daylights out of young Mercedes because she has the nerve to be carrying around a condom to have sex.
And that made me start thinking about, like, her preparedness in case, because she said this is a boy she's in love with and she's sharing something intimate. But it also makes me think about the way society treats sex and how we expect better results, but we still treat it, we demonize it still. And like we were talking about something else, which went kind of different lane, which we can get to that in a second. But I would love to have that conversation where we stop villainizing or demonizing sex and sexuality, regardless if you're heterosexual, homosexual, pansexual, sapiosexual, whatever your sexual orientation is. Like, let's just be able to be open about it. Now, I'm not saying be vulgar about it, but definitely stop making it that taboo situation because it's a part of your health, honestly.
Right. And I think that we should stop saying, because orientation, you know what I mean, even preference, implies a choice. And, orientation kind of implies a stable, being. Like, I think that we should just say wherever you are floating at on the sexual spectrum, because it's so fluid that like I mean, I go through that. There are weeks where I just watch, when I'm handling myself. I just I enjoy straight porn. Whereas it's like some days I like
So
hey, but it's a fluid. It's a fluidity.
All right.
And
so talking about sexuality,
right,
and fluidity.
mm-hmm.
Something I've been hearing a lot, and I guess I should be someone to speak to it, but let's make it a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have been bashing porn for decades, for centuries, well, maybe centuries. I want to say more so a century. Talking about how it corrupts, how it creates these horrible fantasies in people's minds. So when they do get with someone, they can't really fully love their partner because they have this fantasy in their head that their partner can't live up to, or whatever the case may be. Now, that has been something that's been on my mind recently because I keep hearing it recently. And I definitely disagree, but I also do believe, like, just like you can abuse alcohol or you can abuse food, you can abuse porn.
Yeah.
You can abuse fucking cartoons, excuse me. But, like, so I think when it becomes unhealthy, because we're not supposed to watch porn, we're not supposed to talk about sex, we're not supposed to be sexually free or fluid. So now, like, maybe this is why it's such a secret. This is why you have people who are predators. You have people who have sexual traumas that they can't heal from, and it's a psychological thing more so than it's just psychological is behavioral, but it's not just the porn itself corrupts.
Right. And I don't want to say that we should put an age, you know what I mean, but we should influence the younger folks, as to what an actual and realistic appropriate age is to even start to explore those feelings,
And I think, like, we hear about the birds and the bees conversation,
but it always follows up with "don't do it until
But I don't think so. Here's my thing, like, I don't think that a child should be subjected to seeing it, but I do believe that should be a part of the conversation, that there are other influences
mm-hmm.
that are out there. So you have to find what works for you, and you have to, and I can help you find safe ways, or make sure you're being safe and explain what safe means, education, safe, healthy practices, things like that.
And that's the thing that I think that our community also has to reckon with, because I think that in the Black community, we are very, very much more mortified at the fact that we would find a condom on our children,
right?
Than being reassured that our child is mature enough, especially a young lady. Yeah. For a young lady to carry around a condom is very mature, very mature.
And that's her taking the power stand. She's taking the power stand. I'm in control of the situation. So you're not going to feed me the BS that you don't have a condom.
Right.
I have it. So, she's taking the power, and I don't know if I really want to go this deep because we start getting into like political stuff. But it's like
we're just
all right.
Well, just give your Jordan. Yeah.
Okay. Like she's taking the power for herself to be able to say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm making this choice for my body, and avoiding catching something that she doesn't want, or avoiding getting pregnant at a young age, like,
which is her right.
Right. And I respect that. And like you said, our community is more mortified at the fact that there is a condom that she's having sex than the fact that she, instead of celebrating the fact that, listen, my daughter, yes, she may be doing this, but she's responsible. And
right.
I didn't have to tell her she went and did it because she knew the
right
thing to do.
Exactly. And just trust that, if you're a good enough parent, and that's the thing, if you're a good enough parent, you're going to instill the right things.
Mercedes didn't have a good enough parent, to be honest with you, though. So she found that somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's for someone who had a bad parent. So
right.
If you're a good parent.
If you're a good parent, and that's who I'm talking to, because you have good parents out there who will box their children in and not let them be, kids and explore. And the thing about the human experience is that we learn from experience. That's why we value the advice of older folks, is because they've gone through experiences, so they know You know what I mean? And they can help me make the right decisions. And so, but what that experience also comes with allowing your child to grow. You know what I mean? And there are certain boundaries, you know, that you need to be aware of, especially boundaries that could affect your freedom as well as the freedom of your child.
Right.
You know, you got to make your child aware of those hard boundaries, you know. But you gotta let them. You gotta let them explore. You gotta let them be curious. You gotta let them. You know what I mean. You can only tell the kid, "Hey, don't touch that. That's hot," before they actually go and touch it. And you have to be prepared for the fact that they're going to touch it and get burnt because they're kids. They're going to, you know what I mean. But you got to be there in order to, you know, say, "Hey," you know what I mean. And Patrice wasn't, but there are a lot of parents who are, but don't give their child the freedom. You got to do it because the more you shelter them, the more they're going to be willing to push the boundaries once that you don't have control over, that society places, once they get out there in society. You know what I mean? The whole PK syndrome, where, you know, you have a lot of, like, if you, you know, but honestly, it is a trend. It is a visible trend where, you know, you have, especially in our community, where you have pastors' kids who are very wild, you know what I mean? And very much out there because they've been boxed in their whole lives and made to conform and made to do this and never really get to express themselves, that when they get out there and do that, they go overboard.
Yeah. Yep.
And a lot of times turns out bad. Sometimes it's okay, but more times than not, it turns out bad. In my experience, I don't know about your experience.
So I have 2 pastors in my family, and
as do I.
One of them didn't have it too bad. The other one went through hell with her kids. Not all of them, but most of them. And I mean, now at their age now, like they've all turned it around, you know, in their adulthood. But it was rough sometimes. So, yeah, it's a science to the PK thing, and I think it is like these strict cultural, nonsensical rules. I think that we have, like something else that's been popping up in conversation with me is like men shouldn't cry. Don't cry in front of other people, or you know, and like. This conversation is ages old at this point, but there's still people that I encounter in their teens and 20s who still uphold this thing because that's what was taught to them. That's how they were trained, and they think that, you know, that's normal. And a conversation came out. I was listening to Woodward Jr. on his podcast after the Daily Show with Trevor Noah. He had on one of the writers. Who was a female, and they brought up the word toxic masculinity. I'm trying to make this quick. But she said the way she expresses or explains to her, the men in her family, her son, her husband, her brothers, or uncles, or whoever, is that toxic masculinity hurts you first as a man because it's robbing you of a human experience because you're only able to express maybe 1 or 2 emotions when there's a gamut of emotions for you to express or to experience. And like, you're stressed and you're going through all these different things we're not able to understand because there's a part of us that we do not allow ourselves to get in touch with. The feminine side, what would be considered the feminine side, is there for a reason, but because of toxic masculinity, we don't know how to get nurtured. We don't, not even nurture, but how to properly be nurtured or allow someone to comfort us. Like, this is my bro. I love my bro. I put my arm around him, and I mean, whether we both are gay or not, is nothing, you know, because we're comfortable with who we are as men. And we're able to get in touch with those parts of ourselves. So for all the men who keep carrying this toxic masculinity, it's like you're robbing yourself before you're robbing the gay person, or you're robbing your these women in your life, or that you encounter on the streets. That was my little tangent. I'm bad.
And honestly, like, we went into some deep stuff, but that is the type of conversations that this show provokes. And right. I mean, and we haven't gotten to the whole gentrification issue that goes on. That's a looming hanging sword where, you know, this company is trying to, you know, buy the land that the you know, strip club sits on, and it's, you know, massive, you know, of course, white people ran company and stuff like that. No offense to the, you know, white people that watch us, we love you, you know what I mean, but it is y'all the man, so it is what it is. So like, and then you have the whole and then you have the whole like, and it is weirdly powerful, I guess, because we've all had those feelings, and the Uncle Clifford and the little murder storyline is very powerful, and of course it's going to be powerful to us because we've all been in those situations at some point in time in our life, on either Uncle Clifford's side or, well, basically, Lil Murda is this rapper artist character, and he's gay. He's full blown gay, like likes men, doesn't like women at all. So, but he, fronts, because he's a rapper. It is what it is. This is what you got to do. So, in the eyes of the public, him and, Mississippi or Keyshawn are kind of like a thing, but not really, because he likes, men. And his thing is that he's been sweet on Uncle Clifford. He just lost, he just watched one of his jail, I would say his jail boyfriend, his jail boyfriend, somebody he was in jail with who saved his life when somebody tried to kill him in jail, and everything. His name was Big Teak. He was like his security for a little bit of a couple episodes, and then he killed himself and everything because he couldn't live without Lil Murda. And Lil Murda basically told Big Teak, hey, I'm in love with Uncle Clifford, and Uncle Clifford is the guy that runs, the androgynous guy who runs the Pink. So it is a very touching, love story that goes on there. The big headline is, and everything that y'all been seeing over on Twitter is that Lil Murda got topped this week because all that we've seen in the season, almost a season and a half of Lil Murda, engaging in, in gay sex, is we've seen him be the top. For those of you that don't know what the top is, that's the pitcher. Okay. It's the pitcher. Okay. Or the drill. All right. The drill. All right. So, but not this week. No. And it was Uncle Clifford. All right. He let Uncle Clifford get in there. All right. He was like, fill me up. I know we was talking about and promoting condom use, but they did not. But that's okay, because that was a decision made between two consenting adults who had a discussion about each other's status right before, which is the responsible thing.
Thank you for that. All right, so we actually have 3 minutes left. So I think we should use this time to talk about A Life of Lust, Memoirs of the Porn Star, which is available on KevynM.com. That's KevynM.com.
Yes.
Give me a second. I'm going to put it up on the screen. KevynM.com. KEVYNM.com. Order your books today. Things are going out tomorrow. I got some books that to send out tomorrow.
So if you haven't gotten your book, it is on the way.
Yes. I have something to send out tomorrow. And if you guys order tonight, then it makes it easy because then I can put everything together and send those out.
Go and order the book, KevynM.com. Life of Lust, Memoirs of the Porn Star. The Porn Star. All right. And with that, thank y'all. Tuned in P Valley. P Valley comes on Sundays. All right. Stars. Drag Race, Paramount Plus. All right. These are not plugs. I'm just letting y'all know where to find them so that y'all can join in on a conversation. Like, share, subscribe, comment, share, all that junk. Thank y'all for coming. God bless you. Good night.